Ahmad Shah Massoud was an Afghan politician and military commander. He was a powerful guerrilla commander during the resistance against the Soviet occupation between 1979 and 1989. In the 1990s, he led the government's military wing against rival militias. After the Taliban takeover, he was the leading opposition commander against their regime until his assassination in 2001. Massoud came from an ethnic Taik, Sunni Muslim background in the Panjshir Valley of northern Afghanistan. He began studying engineering at Polytechnical University of Kabul in the 1970s, where he became involved with religious anti-communist movements around Burhanuddin Rabbani, a leading Islamist. He participated in a failed uprising against Muhammad Daud Khan's government. He later joined Rabbani's Jamiat-e-Islami party. During the Soviet-Afghan War, his role as a powerful insurgent leader of the Afghan Mujahideen earned him the nickname Lion of Panjshir among his followers, as he successfully resisted the Soviets from taking the Panjshir Valley. In 1992, he signed the Peshawar Accord, a peace and power-sharing agreement, in the post-communist Islamic State of Afghanistan. He was appointed the Minister of Defense as well as the government's main military commander. His militia fought to defend Kabul against militias led by Gulbuddin Hekmatyar and other warlords, who were bombing the city, as well as later against the Taliban, who laid siege to the capital in January 1995 after the city had seen fierce fighting with at least 60,000 civilians killed. Following the rise of the Taliban in 1996, Massoud, who rejected the Taliban's fundamentalist interpretation of Islam, returned to armed opposition until he was forced to flee to Kulob, Tajikistan, strategically destroying the Salang tunnel on his way north. He became the military and political leader of the United Islamic Front for the Salvation of Afghanistan or Northern Alliance, which by 2000 controlled only between 5 and 10% of the country. In 2001 he visited Europe and urged European Parliament leaders to pressure Pakistan on its support for the Taliban. He also asked for humanitarian aid to combat the Afghan people's gruesome conditions under the Taliban. Massoud was assassinated at the instigation of Al-Qaeda and the Taliban in a suicide bombing on September 9, 2001. 2 days later, the September 11 attacks occurred in the United States, which ultimately led to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization invading Afghanistan and allying with Massoud's forces. The Northern Alliance eventually won the 2-month-long war in December 2001, removing the Taliban from power. Massoud was posthumously named National Hero by the order of President Hamid Karzai after the Taliban were ousted from power. The date of Massoud's death, September 9, is observed as a national holiday known as Massoud Day. His followers call him Amir Sahib-e-Shahid, which translates to martyred commander. Massoud has been described as one of the greatest guerrilla leaders of the 20th century. He has been compared to Josip Broz Tito, Ho Chi Minh and Che Guevara, particularly because he successfully managed to repeatedly defend his local Panjshir Valley from capture by the Soviets and later the Taliban. His younger brother Ahmad Shah Massoud served as first vice president of Afghanistan from 2004 to 2009. Ahmad Shah Massoud was born in 1953 in Bazarak in the Panjshir Valley, to a well-to-do family native to the Panjshir Valley. His name at birth was Ahmad Shah. He took the name Massoud as a nom de guerre when he went into the resistance movement in 1974. His father, Dost Muhammad Khan, was a colonel in the Royal Afghan Army. From his native Panjshir, his family moved briefly to Herat and then to Kabul, where Massoud spent most of his childhood. Massoud attended the renowned Franco-Afghan Lycée Istiqlal, regarded as a gifted student. He studied engineering at Kabul University after his graduation from the lycée. Massoud's native tongue was Dari but could also speak Pashto, Urdu and French and had good English reading skills. During his youth, Massoud read the works of Chinese revolutionary Mao Zedong and Argentine Che Guevara. He said he learned from Mao, but found Guevara's thinking to be too simple. In 1973, Former Prime Minister Muhammad Daud Khan was brought to power in a coup d'etat backed by the People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan, and the Republic of Afghanistan was established. These developments gave rise to an Islamist movement opposed to the increasing communist and Soviet influence over Afghanistan. During that time, while studying at Kabul University, Massoud became involved with the Muslim Youth, the student branch of the Jamiat-e-Islami, whose chairman then was the Professor Burhanuddin Rabbani. Kabul University was a center for political debate and activism during that time. In July 1975, the Muslim Youth, with help from the Pakistani intelligence, staged an uprising against the